a man in a worn-out blazer walks into a boardroom. Nobody gives him a second glance. But that man, he controls a billion-dollar trust, owns property on 5 continents, and his family has wielded influence for over a century. This is stealth wealth. If you thought wealth was all about Lamborghinis, flashy watches, and viral yacht parties, think again. Today, we're diving into the hidden world of old money, where the truly rich don't flaunt, they vanish. Where generational wealth thrives quietly in the background, while new money screams for attention. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We bring you the untold truths of the ultra-wealthy. Let's explore how the richest families on Earth stay rich and invisible. There's a silent war happening, not in the stock market or in real estate, but in style, mindset, and behavior. On one side, you have new money, the tech moguls, influencers, and entertainers who broadcast every luxury purchase to the world. On the other, the elusive old money, families whose surnames are carved into the foundations of nations, yet who remain largely anonymous. The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Waltons, and the Agnellis, they operate in a parallel universe. You won't see them on TikTok or reality TV, but they influence global markets, politics, and art from the shadows. How? Through stealth wealth. Stealth wealth is more than just wearing a beige cashmere sweater instead of a logo-laden hoodie. It's a philosophy, a discipline, a lifestyle curated through generations of financial literacy, strategic decision-making, and above all, discretion. Where new money craves validation, old money craves privacy. Take their homes, for example. While the nouveau riche might show off a mega mansion in Beverly Hills, stealth wealth types will live in properties hidden behind trusts, layered limited liability companies, and nondescript architectural facades. Their homes might not even be in glamorous cities, but nestled in historical estates in the English countryside, or hidden in Manhattan brownstones passed down through generations. And when it comes to clothing, forget designer labels. Old money wears bespoke tailoring, often with zero visible branding. Think Loro Piana, Brunello Cucinelli, or Savile Row tailors, not for trendiness, but for craftsmanship and longevity. To the untrained eye, they look ordinary, but every thread whispers pedigree. There's a reason the phrase "money talks, wealth whispers" exists. The old rich understand that drawing attention invites risk, financial, legal, even personal. That's why they deliberately understate their lives. They drive modest cars, Volvos, Lexuses, older Mercedes-Benz models. Not because they can't afford more, but because they don't need the world's approval. Warren Buffett famously still lives in the Omaha house he bought in 1958. IKEA's founder Ingvar Kamprad, once among the world's richest men, drove a 1993 Volvo and flew economy. But here's the twist. This isn't frugality, it's strategy. Old money knows that visible wealth attracts predators, taxes, litigation, and unwanted media scrutiny. By flying under the radar, they preserve both their wealth and their freedom. Stealth wealth isn't just about appearances. It's also about what happens behind closed doors, how money is managed, protected, and passed on. While new money might blow fortunes in a single generation, old money plays the long game. They establish family offices, private companies that manage everything from investments and philanthropy to tax strategies and succession planning. These are the silent engines that sustain dynasties. Education is another pillar. Children born into stealth wealth families aren't just given access to money, they're groomed to handle it. From an early age, they're taught financial literacy, investing, asset protection, and the value of restraint. They don't grow up dreaming of viral fame. They grow up knowing their last name opens doors to legacy institutions like Harvard, Oxford, or Georgetown, and that their wealth is a tool, not a trophy. That's just the surface of the stealth wealth blueprint. Next, we'll reveal how old money protects its assets through legal fortresses, influences global affairs through subtle power moves, and why even their philanthropy is part of the plan. Want to know how the ultra-rich disappear on paper? It's not through offshore accounts and shady dealings, though that does happen too. No, the real power lies in legal structures so sophisticated they'd make your head spin. Stealth wealth families are masters of asset protection. They rarely own anything directly. Instead, their homes, yachts, and investment portfolios are held in a matrix of trust, foundations, and shell corporations, often layered across jurisdictions. Why? To shield wealth from lawsuits, taxes, public exposure, and even family disputes. Take the dynastic trust, a financial vehicle designed to pass wealth from generation to generation while minimizing estate taxes and maintaining privacy. These trusts can last hundreds of years, and they're structured to limit how much each generation can spend while protecting the core assets. It's like a vault that hands you a gold bar each year but never lets you inside. Then there's the Family Limited Partnership, FLP, where assets are pooled under one family entity. The senior members retain control, while the junior members hold limited shares. It's a way to maintain control, divide wealth, and still benefit from tax advantages. And don't forget about privacy jurisdictions, places like Delaware, the Cayman Islands, and Liechtenstein, where legal structures are designed to keep names off records. That brownstone in Manhattan? It's not owned by a person. It's owned by Maple Leaf Holdings, LLC, which is owned by a trust in Jersey, administered by a law firm in Zurich. This isn't hiding, it's engineering. Stealth wealth isn't just about money, it's about power. But unlike celebrity billionaires who throw their weight around in public, old money operates with surgical precision in the background. They fund think tanks, endow university departments, and sit on the boards of cultural institutions. Their names are rarely in headlines, but they are in the footnotes of history. Philanthropy is one of their favorite tools, not just for legacy, but for leverage. A massive donation to a museum or hospital creates goodwill, opens doors, and cements family prestige. Yet, they rarely name buildings after themselves. Their goal is presence without profile. And when they do engage in politics, it's subtle. Campaign donations, lobbying, or relationships cultivated over decades. While new money might tweet their political outrage, stealth wealth whispers it into the ear of a senator at a private fundraiser. This quiet influence creates a feedback loop. Wealth grants access, access ensures policy, and policy protects wealth. If you were to peek inside a stealth wealth household, you might be surprised. The children are not spoiled. The homes are tasteful, not opulent. The family dinners? Strictly without phones. Because this isn't just a financial model, it's a culture. Old money families instill values early: humility, discretion, responsibility. There's often a strict rule that never talk about money in public. Flaunting is considered vulgar. Dependence is frowned upon. They follow a code, one passed down not just in wills and deeds, but in unspoken expectations. Some even follow the 3-generation rule, where the first generation builds the wealth, the second maintains it, and the third is trained never to squander it. If a family member starts behaving like new money, flashing wealth on social media or chasing fame, they're quietly removed from trust distributions. It's not punishment, it's protection. Here's where stealth wealth gets philosophical. To them, wealth is not a lifestyle, it's an operating system. It's about ownership, not consumption. Control, not chaos. They prioritize assets that produce income over things that depreciate. A private equity stake is more valuable than a sports car. A long-term investment in farmland or art is more revered than a luxury penthouse. And when they do indulge in luxury, it's done quietly. A tailor in Florence who doesn't advertise. A private island nobody knows about. A custom-made timepiece with no brand on the dial. This is what makes them so difficult to spot. Their lives are designed to blend in, while being 10 steps ahead. In a world where oversharing is the norm, stealth wealth becomes an even more impressive feat. Every moment is potentially a post, every purchase a photo opportunity. But the true heirs of generational wealth have mastered the art of digital camouflage. They don't need to show off online because their lives are not lived for likes. Their social media, if it exists, is often private, curated, and anonymous. No exotic vacation reels, no Rolex wrist flicks, no exotic cars shot in third-person drone footage. They use secure messaging apps. They travel under aliases. Even their email addresses are pseudonymous. When you operate on the scale of dynasties, privacy isn't a preference, it's protocol. Meanwhile, new money desperately tries to go viral. But every selfie is a breadcrumb trail for hackers, stalkers, scammers, and even kidnappers. Old money learned long ago that exposure is expensive. This discretion extends into digital assets too. Stealth wealth families now hold cryptocurrencies, but they don't talk about it. They own stakes in Web3 companies, but through blind trusts or venture funds. The goal isn't trend chasing, it's long-term positioning. Quietly. Stealth wealth isn't just a set of financial tools, it's a mindset. A way of thinking about the world that runs counter to modern culture. It requires resisting the urge to impress, even when you can. It means walking into a room and letting people underestimate you. And more importantly, it means finding fulfillment in legacy, not attention. Because attention is fleeting. But anonymity, that can last for generations. In psychology, there's a term called delayed gratification. The ability to resist the temptation for immediate reward in pursuit of a greater long-term gain. Stealth wealth is the ultimate expression of this. While flashy wealth burns fast, stealth wealth simmers quietly, compounding in power and influence. And this mindset is taught, not bought. Children raised in old money homes are taught to delay desires, to think in decades, and to value security over spectacle. They're not racing to be seen, they're preparing to endure. Let's bring this into focus with some modern-day examples. Consider the Mars family, owners of Mars Inc., the giant behind M&M's, Snickers, and pet food brands. Despite a $100+ billion empire, they live in relative obscurity. No Instagram spotlights, no billion-dollar yachts on display. Most people don't even know what they look like. Or take the Ori Hoffman family of Switzerland, major stakeholders in Roche Pharmaceuticals. Their net worth is astronomical, yet their lifestyle is modest, their presence nearly invisible outside of boardrooms and scientific philanthropy. Then there's the Pritzkers, an American dynasty with ties to Hyatt hotels. While some members have stepped into the public eye, the core of the family wealth is managed through private trusts and low-key investments. Even Warren Buffett, often mislabeled as flashy simply because he's famous, lives and breathes the stealth wealth mentality. He's not focused on what his money can buy, but what his money can build. Quietly, generationally. The common denominator? Long-term vision. Disciplined privacy. No need for applause. In today's world where clout is currency and everything is a status update, there is no greater power move than not playing the game at all. Stealth wealth is the ultimate flex. Because real confidence doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't show you what it has, it leaves you wondering. And in a culture that constantly demands attention, the ability to operate in silence is a rare and dangerous kind of power. To the ultra-wealthy who practice stealth, their wealth is not their identity. It's simply a tool, a means to support their values, their family, and their future, without ever needing validation from strangers.